We're up for the Volume 3 Chapter 15, where we can see our boy Sato to be driving the truck towards the school. They arrived. It was an uneventful journey. Sato asked why are they back at school, wouldn't it much better to stay with the others? But Miki said they can't do that. With that many survivors they couldn't contain their zombies. It will only scare them after all. Besides, most of their fighters have been killed, by them no less. And because of that, they only have young girls and elderly people, making it hard to get safety. To add more, remember what Miki said earlier. She said that they have 1,000 members. Staying there will only make it suspicious. This makes sense, not only to us but to Sato too. But it looks like he got more into it than us. He thinks that she did that to save those people. Does he thinks she's a tsundere or something? But when he's having a relief because of it, Miki dropped the bomb, saying that she got to test her zombies on the field. The war was merely an experiment to her. You can't keep on defending her, Sato. Although there are some issues to handle, but everything went well. They even increased their population. They didn't bring back anyone, but to Miki that's okay. She walks forward, maybe excited to infect the new zombies. Don't even get me started how they got their hands in a gurney. Maybe the nurse office. Their school is rich, huh? Because of what Iwasa said earlier, Sato forced to think that Miki is not a bad girl. She's just manipulative and unpredictable. Boy, you need some treatment right away. How could you turn a blind eye on that freaking large red flag? Are you a girl in love or something? God damn. Inside the gym, Iwai, the captain of the Judo Club, and his members are all tied up like a modern mummy. Surprisingly, there are no scratch on him. The rest of the Judo Club are also in good shape, while the regular zombie students was even abandoned because they couldn't move. The Judo Club exceed everyone's expectations. I hope your family does that too. I know, buddy, that must have been tough, but I'm here for you. Back to the story. The Judo Club fought with the Kamigawa's melee squad, but they didn't even scratch them. It must have mean that they dodged the enemy's attack. To think that Karin managed to beat them all in a single day with them using judo techniques on her. Just what kind of monster is she? Sato is scared that if they have more like Iwai they'll be in trouble. Does he not concern that even just having two Karin is much of a trouble? As you've expected, Miki wanted more zombies like Iwai. They can't just use normal zombies. They need someone who still had their talent intact. What they need isn't the number, but strong zombies. They also need a zombie shepherd and a zombie stable. If Miki's information is correct, they might get more of that kind of zombies. This is getting more and more interesting. Just what kind of zombies will get added? It's as if she's a necromancer or something. Breaking the silence, Miki remembered her promise about Sato's reward and asked him what he wanted. Our boy's mind is floating. He doesn't even know what to say at this point. He didn't thought that the reward was actually true. After all, it's Miki we're talking about. She looks so happy, saying that she should reward her retainers as a queen. That's an interesting face you have there, my queen. You have no right to complain, Sato. Think of it as an honor. The Watchers must have been wanted a mommy-type girlfriend. Karin then butt in, grinning, and said, "Should I give your reward?" Shocked and embarrassed, Sato didn't think this far. Her reasoning was simple. It's because he did well in the battle. A good boy need to be rewarded, right? Woof woof. A reward from these two beautiful girls must have been a heaven for Sato. A reward only means one thing for him, and that is... Oh shit. We can't show that here. We'll just blur this out. The smile of those two quickly faded when they saw Sato having a nosebleed. Ha 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 ha, what the hell, man? Who would get nosebleed from being horny? Do they really exist? Disappointed, Miki didn't want to give him a reward anymore. This disheartened Sato, but Miki said maybe next time. This immediately got Sato standing hard happily. His hope that they could do it next time make him stand hard. I am going to jail for narrating this shit. What the hell did I choose to recap? Inquiring about Saruwatari's progress on the job they had discussed, Miki gave him a call. Saruwatari responded, holding a sheet of paper that had the names of the surviving members. He sent several of the members who used to grow vegetables as a hobby to oversee the cultivation. Following Miki's instructions, they are currently making progress on the reconstruction inside the building. After the call, he intended to tell those members with basic knowledge of plumbing and electricity to examine the fuse box and the plumbing system. By giving them hope that someday they will be saved and keeping them busy, they will keep them in control. Panic is not what you want in a zombie apocalypse. Folks, moving and keeping your mind occupied is the best way to relieve stress. Saruwatari has figured this all out already. People tend to do crazy things if they have time on their hands. Think about it. What do you think you'll do if you don't have internet? You'll get crazy for sure. That aside, Isawa are not used in ordering people, making it hard for him to adjust. Miki left that for Saruwatari to handle. She then asked what about Sudo's group, and Aisawa said that he split them into two and gave them work to do according to their ranks. They get along well because they are friends, and they don't bother anyone. Then Miki asked how safe he was when he ordered Sudo around, and Saruwatari answered that thanks to her speech, he couldn't touch him. After all, he's just relying on Miki's orders. Saruwatari changed the topic about scouting. He wants to add even just one more person to help him, but Miki immediately said no. He's the only one who needs to do the reconnaissance. That's his job, and he needs to do that alone. This is somewhat his punishment for what he did in the past. She then proceeds to order Saruwatari to tell Iwasa to bring sweets the next time he goes back. Sato and Karin quietly sit nearby. Just listening to their conversation makes them feel small. Karin just laughed it off, as she is fine being the stupidest in the group as it suits her well. You might think it might suit her, but she's still strong. Unlike Sato, who's far the weakest of the group, he's also not smart. To his mind, he thinks that, from Miki's perspective, he's useless. All of a sudden, Saruwatari requested to put Sato in another room to take the call for Iwasa to rant at him. Iwasa is scared of her after all. He wouldn't want her to be listening to his grumble. Miki agreed and threw the phone at Sato, telling him that Iwasa wanted to talk to him and telling him to go to the other room. Sato obediently followed, going out of the room he'd been in earlier. He took the phone call, expecting Iwasa to answer, but instead, it's still Saruwatari. Sato questioned himself. What does he want? He thought. Saruwatari wanted to tell him something before putting Iwasa on the phone. In a serious tone, he warned her to be careful with Miki. Sato doesn't seem to get it completely. Saruwatari explained that it's about how Mori was zombified. Sato just casually said that it was an accident, but Saruwatari said it was not, and he saw it with his own eyes. It was all planned by Miki when he got bitten by a zombie. It's as if he's saying that killing him is needed to keep the peace, but it's not like he didn't deserve it. She is not the good girl that Sato keeps on defending. She intended to make him a zombie from the very beginning. It is up to Sato to decide what to believe. But then again, it's not like Mori didn't deserve to be killed. Saruwatari should be lucky he was left alive after doing all that cruel stuff. Of course, this would confuse Sato's mind, as he can't understand that killing is necessary to survive this apocalypse. He demanded an answer, but Iwasa had already taken over, crying his eyes off and shouting for help. It's as if it's an emergency. He explained that everyone thinks he's now a bad guy because he's friends with Miki, and now everyone avoids him like a poop. Sato awkwardly laughed when he heard it. Well, I can only pity Iwasa. He went through so much to save those friends of his, and now they are avoiding him. I can only hope that they are doing that for a good reason. After talking to him, he hung up. He still thinks about what Saruwatari said earlier. Miki predicted that Saruwatari and Mori would escape, so she prepared to catch them herself. She even kept Saruwatari alive because she thought that he would be useful. The fact that Miki was allowed to become allies with her enemies, Sato thinks, is enough reason to make her a good person. And besides, Mori can't cooperate with them. That's why he's useful to be a zombie. For me, again and again, I will say it. He deserves to die. To Sato's horror, he thinks that what if Miki thought that Mori and Kamigawa were more useful as zombies? If they are not useful as humans, would she make them zombies? Then wouldn't that just mean that if you're useless, you'll become a zombie too? Panic gripped Sato. The fact that he thought earlier that he's the useless one in the group, then would Miki make him a zombie too? He shakes his head, trying to calm himself. He shouldn't jump to conclusions too fast. He reasoned to himself that she helped Iwasa and her friends when Iwasa asked for help. And besides, in the earlier days, she was clearly worried about him when he got bitten. He slapped his cheeks, as if as punishment for doubting Miki. He wouldn't survive without her. Saruwatari has been playing along until now. He can't afford to stay under Miki's palm forever. It looks like Saruwatari has a plan of his own. Sato made his way back to the room where Miki and Karin were. And now, they are planning to discuss their new step.